All right, so in your last couple lessons, you have been working with numbers that are bigger. So you have been working with thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. So today we're going to talk about that with rounding. So let's go ahead and review really quickly with our rounding. What you had been working on is if you had rounded to the nearest 10 or the nearest 100, we'll go with hundreds, you might be looking at something like this, and you might see 583, and you might be thinking, like our number line, you might be thinking, is this number closer to 500 or is it closer to 600? So you had learned to think about what would be halfway in between. So halfway between 500 and 600 would be, hope you said it, oops, 550. So then you might be thinking, where does 583 fall on that number line? And you might think to yourself, 50, 60, 70, 80, it might be somewhere about here. So therefore it's closer to 600. So 583 would round up or be about equal to 600. So I used my squiggly equal sign to say it's not exactly equal, but it's about equal. It's close to 600. So what happens if you have a number that's bigger than this? Let's say you have the number 2,498 and you want to round that to the nearest thousands place. So first of all, I'm going to think about the thousands. You can still think about it on a number line. You can still think about it being, which one is closer? Is it closer to 2,000 or the next 1,000, which in this case would be 3,000? And you could still think about it halfway in between 2,000 and 3,000 would be, hope you said it, 2,500, and that this number would be about just shy of that. You could still think of it that way, but I'm going to show you a different way. You can also do this without drawing the picture. So I'm going to get rid of this one here for a moment. If I have the number 2,498, this works really well with bigger numbers because you may not be drawing out a number line with such big numbers. It might be a little more work. So this is kind of like a shortcut. So if I'm thinking about the number 2,498 and I want to round to the nearest thousands place, I know my 2 is the digit in the thousands place. So I'm going to look to the right, 2,498. And I'm going to think to myself, does 4 round up or down? Have you seen the rule about the mountain where you have the number 0 through 10? 5 would be halfway at the middle. So if you have any number less than 4, it rounds down. And if you have any number 5 and higher, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it rounds up. So I'm looking to the right and I'm thinking 4 rounds down. So I'm going to zero out my digits and leave my thousands place there. Let me show you this again so you can start to see the pattern. Let's say I have the number 4,897 and I still want to round it to the nearest thousands. So I'm going to find the thousands place, the 4. I'm going to look to the right. The number is 8. Does 8 round up or does it round down? Hopefully you said up because it's on this side of the mountain. So I remind myself that 8 changes the 4 to a 5 because it's getting bigger. It's rounding up. So now I have 5 in my thousands place and I'm going to zero everything else out. Let's see it again. Let's try 9,153. Still going to round to the thousands place. So I have a 9 in the thousands place. I look to the right, I have a 1. Does the 1 round up or down? Down. So I'm going to zero it out and I'm going to leave my thousands where it was, 9,000. I'm going to give you a couple to try. I want you to pause the video. I want you to work them out on your whiteboard and then come back to me to check, okay? So here are the ones I want you to try. Write these on your whiteboard with me. I want you to write the number 2,309. I want you to write the number 5,000 642. I want you to round both of those numbers to the nearest 1,000 and then unpause the video. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video to do that work. So let's check. 2,000, 2 is in the thousands place. I look to the right, the 3 rounds down. Down, I'm done. I'm zeroing it out and I'm leaving the 2. Okay, the next one, we had 5 in the thousands place. I look to the right, the 6 rounds up. So it changes the 5 to a 6, it's getting bigger, 6,000. Okay, we can do this method for any place value, whether you are rounding to nearest 10 or 100, in this case 1,000. We could do it for 10,000s. We could do it for 100,000s. We could also do it if our number is bigger than 1,000. So let's take a look at an example like that. What if we had a really big number? What if we had the number 125,692? Let's say I still want to round that number to the nearest thousands place. So I'm still going to underline, this is the place value I'm looking at, and I'm still going to look to the right, and I know 6, does it round up or down? Hope you said it. It rounds up. So I'm going to change my 5 to a 6, and I'm going to zero it all out. Just like we did over here, but I still have 120,000s that were a part of my number. I'm going to put those right back, 126,000. So we rounded to the nearest thousands place, we zeroed out that way, but we want to put what's in front of it right back. I'm going to have you practice some of these in your math journal for the next step.